Hey, what's up you guys? Bill here from Good Old Days Gaming with another very subjective ranked list, this time for Star Fox 64, one of my personal favorite games of all time. This game offers 16 fully unique and lengthy levels, but which ones are the best? Here's my take, from worst to best. Number 16 is Aquos. Yeah, Aquos is many people's least favorite. It's dark, especially depending on what TV you're using, and the Blue Marine is a wobbly mess, despite the infinite torpedoes you get. There's a cool glitch to rack up hit plus ones back to back if you're going for a high score run, but it's not enough to make up for the slow, clunky pace of the level. Props for being unique though. Number 15 goes to Sector Z. This level is cool for painting the illusion of teamwork, unlike most other levels in the game. If your wingmen are clear of potential bogeys, they'll take on the incoming missiles and actually be useful for once. It's a double-edged sword though, as they can steal all the hit points if they get in the final blow on a missile. This level doesn't offer too much else beyond that though, which is why it gets the number 15 spot. Number 14 goes to Solar. This level is the sun, so it's hot. And actually that's pretty cool, for the sake of variety at least. There aren't many enemies, but the heat effect on your R-Wing's shield gauge is neat, and the lava waves are cool to look at. I love how completely useless Bill Gray is too. I don't even think he's on screen for 10 seconds. Peppy and Falco's quotes at the boss fight are highly memorable as well, at least to me.
This is the enemy's bioweapon?
Number 13 goes to Sector Y. Sector Y is a cool intro level to the hard path of the game, and it's neat that the character quotes are dependent on your score. The Shogun enemies that are throughout the level are kinda interesting to fight, and there are several challenging waves of fighters throughout the Armada. This is one level that can be tricky to always score high on, but for me personally, only that end section where the Star Fox team forms up is exciting. The rest is just kind of, eh. Number 12 goes to Titania. This arid desert planet is a laggy mess, like seriously the frames per second must drop down to like 2. But the Landmaster controls so well, and it's still fun. Scoring many hits here can be quite challenging, and for newcomers especially, even surviving to the end can be tough. The red fog and the sandy textures, combined with the waves of fighters and giant mechanical enemies, and ultimately one awesome boss at the end, make for one memorable experience. Number 11 goes to Fortuna. This is the Star Wolf planet. It's super short, but definitely tons of fun to replay, especially if you challenge yourself to take down all the spawning fighters before Star Wolf appears. And of course, once they do, it's fun to just goof around with their horrible piloting skills and even let them win on occasion just to hear their victory quotes. Or, you know what, screw that, and just mow them all down in 10 seconds. Whatever, it's still a lot of fun to replay. Number 10 goes to Sector X. Sector X is home of that infamous robot boss that for some reason Fox has a hard time understanding.
Where is the creator? What's he saying?
The intro to this level is freaking awesome, with waves of really fast fighters swarming in from behind and a minefield immediately after. Then it takes you through this space graveyard with a branching path, the interior of which is a hectic rush to activate a warp zone with Falco, while the exterior pins you against waves of enemy defenses. It's a lot of fun to take that outside path with Peppy for scoring big hits. 9th place goes to Venom, the hard path. Which, actually, this has always been the easier path of Venom since it's just a Star Wolf rematch. They are a lot tougher this time around though, and it can be a lot of fun to replay it again and again just to see how fast you can take them all out. The R-Wing flight controls are so fluid and responsive that this fight is just always fun no matter what happens. Then of course there's the tunnel to Andros and his final brain form, and the escape with James McCloud. It's just an all-around good level, even if it's nothing more than a dogfight and a boss. Number 8 goes to Meteo. Dude, the music in this level is iconic and has made its way into every Star Fox game since. The level itself is a slow-paced passage through an asteroid field, up until the midway mark where things get a little bit more hectic. It's a ton of fun to try and hit all of those circle formations that award a hit plus 8 while simultaneously flying through all the warp zone rings. The warp zone itself is awesome as well, and it's the way you want to go if you're aiming for huge scores. If not, you still plow through a final mess of asteroids and fight that memorable pompous boss who has one of the biggest rumble pack feedback explosions in the game.
I can't believe I lost to this scum! Sorry to Jeff, but I'm in a hurry.
Number 7 goes to Bolts. The satellite level is unique with its spin mechanic that makes it feel like the whole station has its own gravitational pull. Destroying all the barriers feels hectic, even though it's really easy, and upon doing so, all the shields go down and then fighters come flying out of the base to harass mostly Slippy out of everybody. If you haven't defeated or even encountered Starwolf yet, they also join the fray. You can spend upwards of 10 minutes on this level just taking out the regenerating waves of fighters before destroying the satellite's core like you're supposed to. For that reason, this all-range mode level is high up on the list for me. Number 6 goes to Corneria. This game's opening stage is one of its best, and that is most certainly a good thing, as it is the only planet in the entire game that you will play through every single time. The initial approach over the water feels good, kind of like a callback to the SNES aerial combat days, and then suddenly you enter the demolished city and it's all just N64 power from there. Learning the best path for high scores is a challenge, and it gives this level a high replay value, which again is good, because you have no choice but to replay it every single time you want to play this game. The arch section leading to the attack carrier boss is an awesome introduction to the idea of branching pathways, and even if you choose not to fly all fancy, which by the way feels absolutely amazing with the near flawless controls, you still get to take on the most ridiculous boss and almost instantly hear his iconic cry of defeat.
My Emperor! I failed you!
5th place goes to Venom's Easy Path, which is actually the harder of the two, go figure. This level is freaking awesome thanks to the enormous waves of enemies and the illusion of teamwork once again, with your wingmen splitting up, giving you the option of who to follow and ultimately changing the level. For that alone, the replay value here is very high if you want to see the possible outcome of every path. If that's not enough, to earn the high score needed for a medal on this easy route is incredibly difficult, but such a fun challenge to take on. Seriously, I love this level. Whether I'm gunning down massive squadrons alongside Slippy, or dodging crazy geographical protrusions with Falco, it's always a ton of fun. I only wish the level was longer. Number 4 goes to Katina. The hatches are open. Dude, this level is nuts. I love the alien mothership idea, even if it is the most cliche sci-fi thing in the world, and Bill Gray, the surfer dude bulldog, is awesome. The replay value of this level is incredibly high, if not solely due to the immensely difficult hidden ending that requires both you and your incredibly terrible wingmen to not even shoot, let alone kill, any friendly Cornerian fighters. It is so hard because not even 1 minute into the mission, Slippy will most likely say,
"Hard to tell the good guys from the bad."
meaning he already killed someone good and you have to restart. And your lock-on shots will go flying to try to keep up with the speedy alien ships, likely taking out a few good guys in the process. The best bet is to restart the level at the expense of a life to reset your lasers to puny status, and just take it very slowly, and avoid locking on at all or using bombs. Or you could just say, screw that special ending, let's have some fun. Earning the medal for this planet is hard too, because it's so easy to just end everything quickly because the mothership appears right away. But you need 150 hits, so you really need to time your mothership assault runs well, as the less you attack it, the more alien ships enter the fray, but also the less points you'll earn whenever you do eventually destroy the mothership. This level is just fantastic all around, and I love the callback to Independence Day. Number 3 goes to Macbeth, the Forever Train, and home to the most memorable enemy quotes in all of video game history, at least to me. This level puts you in the amazingly fluid Landmaster to go nuts on a train, or focus on the fighters and let the train dump rocks on the field for you to earn more hits on. Chasing the train and destroying as much of it as possible before the rear end is detached is a ton of fun, but the highlight of this level comes post-checkpoint, when you are on a mission to shoot 8 switches and the boss man dishes out his unforgettable lines of dialogue.
I didn't expect to ask you this. You're very lucky. I'll lure these guys to the front. Step on the gas.
And of course, that iconic hit plus 50 finish that made your Rumble Pack go nuts back in 1997.
No! Get the brake! I can't stop it!
The second best level goes to Zonus. I love how challenging and fast this level is, with enemies appearing on screen for just a few seconds and others moving around in erratic patterns, making them hard to hit before they go away forever. While all of that's going on, you've got the searchlights to worry about as well, but actually, if it's a high score you're going for, you want to get spotted by a very specific light near the midway point, as it will spawn more enemies for the second half of the level. The medal is 250 hits, but once you learn where all the fast enemies spawn and leave, you can get between 300 and 500 hits, which makes it one of the most fast-paced and fun levels in the game. The polluted sea is a nice aesthetic touch as well. And finally, the number one, in my opinion, is Area 6. If you're not shaking your hand and doing a wrist stretch at the end of this level, you're not playing it right. From start to finish, it is non-stop waves of enemies and those spinning space station things, so you will be mashing the hell out of the A button and frequently hitting C down for the break to get in those last precious shots before something scrolls off screen. You will be all over the place, having only a brief second at the checkpoint to shake off that hand pain before an even crazier section begins. Once you see the battleships, you just have to embrace the pain that's in your wrist, or else Slippy dies and you miss out on a huge score. My cartridge caps out at 511 hits, but I've gone beyond that before, so I'm not even sure what my true high score is since it didn't record. Only certain early cartridges allow the hit counter to exceed 511. But if you know what you're doing and abuse your hand, you can score above 600 hits almost every time, making this level the most hectic and the highest scoring one of them all. For that reason alone, and just the beautiful design of a gradual increase in chaos, Area 6 is the best level in Star Fox 64, in my opinion. So there you have it. Do you agree with my list? Which levels are your favorite? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching.